Hey everybody, Chuck here. We're moving into the second main area, module two of the CSCP here. And the first topic is talking about managing the supply chain network and information. Now, when we're talking about managing the supply chain network, we're looking at it from an informational and data standpoint, which allows you then to drive the activities that you'll be performing. So we need to step back a second, though, and take a moment and realize that, when we define what's involved with managing the supply chain, it does start with the design of the supply chain network. And that means going through the decisions of figuring out what that structure of data and activities that we're going to perform will be performed, as well as how we're going to support them and how do we make sure they support the business strategy and allow us to grow. So it really, the ability to manage it means staying on top of it, certainly, but it starts with the design of the supply chain network. And that involves decision making so that you can build a structure that supports the business strategy and gives you that space to grow. So it's also necessary to determine and maintain the data to manage the supply chain. And that's where it starts connecting in. And then also thinking about as well the appropriate measuring and reporting techniques. So not only building the supply chain, but building the data so we get the visibility, the ability to synchronize our activities, decide the activities, et cetera. We've got to be thinking about, again, this building the supply chain and the data management so we can meet the needs of the customers today, as well as be ready for the future and give ourselves the ability of adapting in the future so we can accomplish what the customer wants in the future because we live in volatile times with respect to supply and demand. We have to be ready and able to constantly change and constantly adapt as requirements change. So managing the supply chain network starts with designing it in a way that allows it to take care of today and tomorrow. And so the impact then of accomplishing all this is it gives our supply chain business the chance to adapt and grow the business both short term and long term. And while it doesn't give us any guarantees, it does promise us the opportunity to at least compete into our future successfully and profitably as the markets and the requirements change.